Welcome to the Mochatta Show with Big E. Today, the boys sit down with former baseball pros and baseball Joes to talk about MLB opening day.
So we're back. We're back for
the good old rail yard.
We brought our little buddy Zach in.
Yeah,
welcome,
Zach.
brother.
Good to be here.
Zach, you played any college ball? You played high school in Ada?
I graduated from Roth High School.
Where?
Roth, but it's
What is that?
by Ada. It's a baseball
Have you ever
school.
heard of it? Well, the name's not school. It was the Ross Bandits.
Yeah,
Like Roth.
we play softball with
Oh,
Zach. So he's an alright shortstop, but he makes a lot of errors. But that's why
It's
I'm
not
there
true.
to pick him
I
up in
blame
the
I blame the
outfield.
pitching, but it's all right.
Yeah,
I blame Ethan in the outfield.
that's true.
Hey,
I drop a lot of balls.
he's just finally catching the ball.
It's 'cause
If he's
I got
on his
this-
knees,
At
that's the
one
only time
point,
he's good.
Hey, was it last season? At the beginning, I was like, dude, we're gonna be in
dropping.
trouble.
Well, it's because I got this glove. So in high school, I had like this $100 Mizuno glove. Used that all through high school and college. You know, it didn't have very nice stuff. It was and then like in slow pitch softball, I'd buy a gold glove, Rawlings,
Pete, first one. I mean, he's like this. Got it. He hits it. Pops right back over.
It's
And
'cause
it's like 3 or 4 more.
This is the glove that's supposed to get me to the bigs of baseball, and it's not used to catching those softballs. You know,
No, it's out.
this old lefty right here.
So we'll come back. I wanted any hazing.
Yeah,
was a rookie ball.
What hazing did you have?
So, I think it was in the playoffs in 2012. So they always did like a rookie like dress up, and so me being a rookie. Well, it actually goes back the year before in 2011 when I first got called up. This was a long road trip. We were gone for like 12 days. We went to Kansas City, San Diego, and Denver. And usually it's just like 1 or 2 series instead of, so like this one was 3. So it was about maybe 10 days or 12 days, 12 days, 15 days on the road, something like that. It was a long time being on the road. And so, and usually getting from the airport to the hotel takes about 30, 45, depending on, you know, where we go. But just about every place, it was like 30, 45 minutes. And we get one of our backup catchers who never plays because Yachty caught every day.
Yeah.
And this guy, he was a veteran. He was awesome. Everybody loved him. He was the clubhouse personality.
Right.
And he was the man. Like, he would always gamble. He'd always play cards
Oh,
in the back.
Crash Davis type, stuck in the minors because Yachty's
But
big.
like, yeah, but he never played. So.
Yeah.
So he's like screaming out like all the rookies' names, and I'm like, I'm not hiding from this guy. He knows who I am. I'm like, there's no
got the
way.
scatter
So I
ability.
just sat up in the front of the bus, like, and this is what we only had one bus. Like, this changed after a while. Like, we used to have like a player's bus and a coach's bus. So everybody was on this bus for some reason. Like the GM, the manager, all the coaching staff. And this guy is hammered in the back of the bus with all the other like veterans, and he is screaming my name. He's like, "Where's that Kozma kid at? Where's that kid at? Stand up, stand up. Where's that boombox?" So we'd always play music, and he would put on the Party Boy song.
You put on what?
The Party Boy song, the old Jackass Party Boy song. So it was just like a beat, and he's just like, Kozma, start doing what I do. I was like, all right, and he started taking.
I got it. There we go. What did he do? He took you where? Motel?
No, this was on the bus. This was on the bus. So we were on the plane flying from like Kansas City to San Diego or Denver. So it was a pretty long flight. So we get on the bus to go to the hotel. So he's hammered on the bus, and he's like screaming out like all the rookies' names, and he screams my name, Kozma. He's like, Kozma, where's that Kozma kid at? He's like, stand up. I was like, fuck. I'm like, this
And you're in
guy.
the front row.
I'm right there because I'm like, I'm not hiding from this guy. He knows who I am, and he is absolutely hammered. He's like, start doing what I do. Just like just mirror me. I was like, oh, God. I'm standing behind him. He starts taking his fucking clothes off. I'm like, what the fuck is going on here? I got the manager right here. I got the GM right behind me. I'm like, what the fuck is going on right now? So I'm like, I can't get my tie off. I'm like, I'm in a suit and tie. Like, everybody's like, all the young guys are in a suit and tie. Can't get my tie off. I'm like strangling myself. I'm like, he starts taking his fucking pants off. And I'm like, dude, what the fuck is going on right now? And he's like dancing and like, I don't know what the fuck he's doing. So I'm just trying to do what he's doing. And then we arrive at the hotel. I got to put my fucking clothes back on. And we're about to go check in to get in my fucking room in the hotel. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? That was my first experience. And then the next year, we were in the playoffs. Like, so in September, they have a rookie dress up. So I got to fucking do it again. Because I wasn't in the big leagues that long that year. And they're like, oh, yeah, you're still a fucking rookie. I was like, sick. And then, so our last game was in Houston. And then we get done after the game. And I'm looking in my locker. And I'm like, where the fuck is my suit? Like, we're about to travel. We're about to fly.
Jacked your suit.
Yeah, we're about to fly. I was like, I don't have my suit. Like, where the fuck happened to my suit? So I'm talking to my clubby. He's like, whatever's in your locker, that's what you gotta wear. I'm like, God damn it, dude. And I'm not fucking kidding you. I'm wearing this fucking Lieutenant Dangle super short shorts. Like, the shirt doesn't even fit me. I got a fucking wig on. And I gotta go out. Like, go out in the bus, and there's fucking people like wanting to sign autographs. I get on the bus. All the guys like, no, go sign autographs. I'm like, God damn it, man. You gotta be kidding. You gotta be kidding me.
Yeah, where the picture of that, Pete?
I don't know. Google it. I'm pretty
we gotta
sure
pull
it's
them
out
up.
there.
We gotta see it.
It's out there somewhere. So I got like a fucking wig on. I'm wearing these fucking short ass shorts that don't fit me, and like all this shit. Everybody's like videotaping it whenever we're on the bus or on the plane, and all this shit. Oh man, it was fun. I had a great time.
That sounds like fun. The worst one I ever did was the Oreo race. If anyone's seen Blue Mountain State. No?
Walk us through that.
Yeah, I've seen some. I haven't seen it.
No, I really haven't done this, but it was hilarious. There's some other stuff. There's some other stuff I had to do, but that was when I was in a fraternity in college. But it wasn't like the major league hazing. I mean, it was fun. We had to dress up in suits and go sing at the sorority girls' like houses or floor at like 5 a.m. They'd throw water balloons at us and flour and get all over our suit. We'd have to go to class just looking like beat up sacks of shit. But Zach, did you play any college ball or anything?
I did. I played 4 years of college ball. So.
Yeah. Where'd you play at?
Played at NLC Enid for 2 years. I went to East Central for a year, hurt my arm, and finished up at Bacone. So
yeah, those are good baseball schools.
Yeah, Enid was fun. There was always a big rival between us and Tonk, and small school. I came from a small school anyway, so most of them either went to Enid, Tonk, and was in our conference. So it was fun.
It's fun. Cool. It's fun. Like just college ball, because that's where the most I played. It's fun. I mean, traveling, which is so interesting. I mean, and I heard minor league food's pretty bad, but it was always funny whenever we travel for baseball, like JUCO, they'd be like, here's your meal, and it's like a ham sandwich on white bread with like one piece of ham, like the Walmart cheese, and like a bag of chips, and they're like, this will get you through. And I'm like, do we get dinner? And they're like, shut up. And I'm like, fucking, I hope. I ate better in high school football. And then, but it was fun. Those little bus trips, man. And doing stuff like that, that's what's beautiful about baseball. I know the higher you get. But I was wondering about the scene from Bull Durham where he's singing and he's like, just trying to get to the show. He's like, yeah, I've been there. They're like, you been to the show? Best 21 days of my life. Batting practice balls are white. Someone always handles your luggage. The women all have long legs. And I was like, oh, cool, white batting practice balls. And we're all beat up, sandlot, chewed on by dog balls wherever we went.
Do they hit with white balls in batting practice?
Yeah. It's pretty great.
Yeah.
You should try it.
Yeah. Well, when I would try it. I'd bomb them. And they'd be like, sign him now.
Hey, I told Pete, I said, dude, I just want to throw BP. I could throw forever. That's one thing Parker was like. Parker's like, dude, you throw to 38 groups. And I was like, dude, I love it. Just, and he's like, man, they have a coach that just does that.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Just a batting practice coach.
They have coaches, literally coaches, just to throw.
Yeah.
I want to get that.
I want to get that.
Except for if I was there when you were in the league and I was your little batting practice, I would hit you so much. I'm like, get out of the way, Pete. But I remember they wouldn't let me take batting practice until like my junior year of high school before games. And I'd always be like, why can't I hit? And they're like, because you suck at hitting.
Yeah.
And we don't want to be embarrassed. And I was like,
Well, the thing with Parker, whenever I was there his first year, he started coaching high school, right?
yeah, it was at Hall, right?
Yeah. So,
Was it not?
He started at Cassia.
Head coach?
oh, that's right. He wasn't at Cassia.
Was he head coach at Cassia?
But he wasn't the head coach at Cassia, was he?
Whatever, Pete.
Anyways, so he
Freaking
comes
Rain Man
on
over here.
at
I
home.
don't know nothing.
He's in Cassia for 6
I don't know. What am I doing here? Who am I?
And,
this guy.
anyways, he's at
Golf guy,
home.
looks like.
Well, the kids would get pissed. The kids get pissed because Parker's trying to strike him out and shit. He's throwing fucking nasty sliders and shit. I was like, are we getting our... He's like, dude, I'm not going to let these motherfuckers affect my ERA.
Yeah.
I'm like, dude, it's BP. They're supposed to hit.
Can he still pitch or is his arm messed up?
Well, he's still throwing pretty good.
Because I want to face him.
Oh, he's
I
nasty.
want to have...
Good luck, pal.
Yeah.
Dude, I'll load up on 92, brother. I'll load up on his sinker.
He's a Boston fan. He's
I can
striking
strike
out.
you out. I'm not even a pitcher.
You couldn't strike out shit. You couldn't strike out.
Hit water from
You
out
couldn't.
of the boat.
Yeah, literally. Come on, meat. We're gonna have a live. We need a wiffle ball tournament. Is what we need.
I do
2-on-2,
want to.
me and Mo versus you and Parker.
I play
got the
real
nastiest
baseball,
wiffle ball.
man. I don't play that.
Yeah, that's what I'd
freaking
say too if I
backyard
was
football
afraid.
bullshit.
Yeah, whatever.
I do want to see this though. I want to see if Pete outrun you.
Pete won't beat me in a race.
Yeah, 100%.
He's not
Pull a
fast.
hamstring, but I'll beat your ass.
I'll pull both my hamstrings and blow out my knee and still win. Pete, I don't think you're that fast on.
That was the one thing when I first seen him, many years ago. I'm like, this little motherfucker's fast too. Look at him.
To the yard.
Are you faster than Ben?
Yes. 40-yard dash. Clock me in at 7.
He's just not fast.
He's
at all.
not fast.
40-yard dash. You clocked in at a
He's
7.
fast, but he's
Yeah, .07. Fastest man alive. They call me the Chupacabra. Down in the Mexican League. Yeah, don't worry, I'm fast. You know who's fast? JJ's pretty fast.
Is he?
He used to play soccer. I'm
Otani?
telling you. Look at the girls are like, he is fast. When he was hitting his softball, he was, he unhooked that trailer, boy. He took off. He's pretty fast. He's
Well,
pretty
he's
fast.
freaking.
Me, you, and Otani.
Let's go to the death.
You guys can go down the pond.
We'll run across traffic and see who makes it.
Yeah, leapfrog with traffic.
Right off the bat.
My leg.
What's the... Oh,
Oh,
Real
Rigger.
Muto hit a home run?
Oh,
That's
Rigger
my dog.
Rudy. Oh, Rudy trying to race y'all.
That's right. Man, some of these... So you guys hit with White, which I did. I went and saw BP in Fenway.
Yeah, they're
and-
pretty much brand new baseballs every time I
Yeah,
hit.
I had
BP.
one. I got one on the Monster during BP. And he hit it, it bounced back, and the guy down the bottom threw it up to me, and I was so pumped, man. Big Red Sox fan. Then I got all drunk during the game and gave it to some little kid. Biggest
I do that
mistake.
too. I've done that quite a bit.
Biggest mistake.
What's funny is I have like a lot of shit from Pete,
Yeah.
and I don't have anything signed. People
Yeah.
was like, "Oh, dude, like, hey, his brother's like, let me see all the stuff." I was like, "I don't have anything signed from him."
Yeah.
dude.
The only thing I got signed from
I
Pete
see it
was-
in real life every day.
Yeah, he drew
That's
on
my
me when
son.
I was drunk once. So.
He did. He did.
Still haven't washed it.
Speaking of
Yeah.
baseball, don't you have something or glove or?
Oh yeah, I got my glove. This little ball, not the one Pete hit that guy in the chest with, but this. I got another one from the Vegas League. This one, and I got a couple baseballs back in there. What's funny is, and I don't know if it's real, but I think it's real. When I was little, I was at Drillers, and they were selling signed baseballs and all this, and I had a ball signed by like the '97 or '98 Indians. And it's signed by everyone on the team.
No,
Jim
that's
Tomei, Manny Ramirez.
For sure not real.
It's in a case.
Doesn't matter.
It was $1.50.
Just because it's in a case, don't mean it's real.
I have it. It's in this box, and I'm
Was-
I look at it every now and then because I don't know.
Was David
But it
Justice
looks like
on there?
it looks like it's all real ink and
David
everything.
Justice on there?
Dude, man, Jesus Christ himself signed that ball. and I'm looking at it, and I'm like, man, I don't know, man. I was real pumped about Jacoby. This is a funny story
You
about
still
Pete.
have it?
So yeah, it's somewhere. It's in the. I have this thing of balls.
Big
And
ball guys.
yeah, I have a sack in there.
Likes a lot of
And,
balls.
I got this. It was like one of the first times Pete came over to my apartment, and he's like in the Wylofts. And at the time, I was a huge in high school. Jacoby Ellsbury had like a huge year, 32 home runs, over 100 something RBIs, ton of stolen bases. And
You having a stroke right now?
I got the hiccups, man. And somebody in my family got me like a Jacoby Ellsbury signed baseball and rookie card. And I thought it was like pretty cool. I was like, that's awesome. Pete comes over to my apartment the first time and he's like, looks, he sees it. It's like on my dresser with like my David Ortiz signed card. And he's like, that guy fucking stinks. He's like, that guy's one of the laziest guys I've ever met. And I like put it in my drawer.
I guess I'll just hide this now.
That guy stinks.
He liked the Red Sox with the Yankees.
As he walks out of our lives.
Because I played with him at the Yankees. He stinks. And I was like, all right, fine then, Pete. I'll keep my David Ortiz card though when he was in Minnesota. I almost wore the Vegas jersey. Those are sweet jerseys.
Those are awesome.
Those are
That
cool
was
jerseys.
awesome.
What do you think you did there, Pete? Fumbling the ball around at short. I don't even know who's on the
Look
Yankees
like
team
you
besides Mike Trout.
Kind of missed it on the transfer right there.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, the Orioles.
He's a young kid.
So let me ask you this, Pete. So this is
that Ron Washington?
That
He's
is.
a new
the
manager,
best
right?
infield coach in the world.
I can't believe his hat's actually pulled all the way down though. You just
Here's my thing is
you're on top of his
being
head.
competitive like we are, as always, does this make you miss it big time, like saying I should be there? Is it something like
No, it's all right. Like I know, like at one point or a few points that I was good enough to be there and all that stuff. Like technically, I'm too old because all these guys that are coming up, they're younger, they're whatever, they're faster, all that stuff. But the thing about baseball now is that guys they're not learning the game as they're coming through. They're just being pushed because this is the next guy or whatever. Like they're not the game. The game needs to be learned over a certain amount of time. You need to play. The more you play, the more you learn. And like guys aren't playing enough to understand or know the game, and then they're just like, oh, they'll figure it out when they get to the big leagues. So.
Yeah.
But they're not playing well. Things happen. They make mistakes, and then, like, these are the best players in the world.
Yeah.
Supposedly the best players in the world, and they're not going to let up. They're not going to, there is not much leeway because if you start struggling bad enough, if Volpe starts like struggling again this year, they might get sent him down. Like there's no leeway, especially with the Yankees. Like they want to win. Like. Some teams they want to win. They're just like, all right, well, we're just going to take our lumps. If he doesn't figure it out in 2 or 3 years, which some other kid could miss their opportunity or whoever could miss their opportunity in those 2 or 3 years, who could really make a name for himself or whatever. There's a lot of variables, which is there's another reason why Parker didn't make it to the big leagues was because he didn't get that opportunity. Right. Somebody didn't think he was ready, or somebody didn't like him, or whatever that case may be. But he was plenty good enough to pitch in the big leagues.
And do you think that's a thing? Like people, like it seems like in multiple sports too, like in the NFL too. Like if a quarterback doesn't do well in his first year, he gets a second year maybe, and then they're like he's washed. Yeah. And I'm like, look at all these Hall of Fame quarterbacks that like. Didn't do well their first 5 years. Mm-hmm. And then went on to win a couple Super Bowls. But like one guy I pointed to in the majors is Dustin Pedroia with the Red Sox. He was terrible when he came up. He was not good. And Terry Francona stuck with him. Guy goes on to win 3 technically. He was on the roster for 13. And an MVP, some Gold Gloves I believe sprinkled in there, I think. But I'm like, if they didn't let him stay up in the bigs and say, look, it's okay if you struggle. Like, we're gonna help you figure it out. They would have never had potentially a future Hall of Famer. I don't know if he'll make it, but a caliber of the highest level playing second baseman on their squad for 10 plus years. And I'm like, is that something that's like, you hate to see if like a guy does struggle. I mean, we're all humans. We're not perfect at anything. Yeah. But it's like, it's going to take me a second to figure this out. Short of the Shohei, which he's older too. Right. Bryce Harper's and some guys who just get it, which is rare. Right. It's going to take me a second to figure this out. There's a whole nother level of play that I got to figure out. Yeah. And
well, I think Pete said it perfectly last time. It's like the differences of all of us and the stuff going up. There's 1,000 guys behind him wanting his spot.
Yeah, there's
you know what I mean? It's like, and more. But I'm saying, that they could call up, and like we found out last on the podcast, there's 7 clubs within that one organization.
7 minor league organizations.
So a different one. So it's like And that just tells me the high level is crazy, dude. You know what I mean? It's like you got to be, and it is different. Like I said, those guys are out there fielding and throwing, you know, and then you got Pete out there fielding and throwing. It's different. Yeah. You know what I mean? It's got to be, you got to be great all the time. When you say Pete, I mean it's like and I know you have those club guys that are the face of the organizations, you know, like the Trouts, all those other guys. Yeah. I mean, I get that, but you got to stay at that highest level all the time, Pete. I mean, and that's throughout, like you said, 126 games. I mean, what did you say?
62.
162.
62.
So
62. Like when you talk about Harper, and like we're watching him now, it's like for what he is now, like he got the chance to learn at that level because he was in the big leagues this very first time whenever I was. Like, I got to see him whenever he was a rookie and I was a rookie. I was just like, all right, this guy has tools. Right. He's very good at what he does, but he doesn't understand the game. He hasn't, like, everything is done at, like, 150% instead of, like, you know, focusing that energy in a certain area of your game and, like, slowing it down, using your brain and figuring it out. I mean, you've seen that at the high school level. Like some of these kids, they just like everything has to be done at 150%. I was like, no, that's not how you play the game. You watch a really good infielder, a really good outfielder, or a really good catcher, or whoever. Anybody's that's good at their position in the big leagues, they're very like slow, methodical, and very, very smooth at what they do, and it takes time. Going back to what I said, it takes time to learn that.
Right. It takes time to
get
there.
In the minor leagues, in the big leagues, whatever, like at every level. Like Harper didn't crush every level he went to. He got to AA, and he absolutely struggled. He got to AAA, he struggled at first. And, like, they learn, they figure it out after time. Like, there are certain levels they figure it out. And if certain clubs, they allow them to struggle at a little bit and trying to push through it, and they understand that. They see that at the minor league level. It's like, all right, well, he struggled at first. How did he bounce back? Or can he handle adversity? If he can't, he's just going to continue to go down. If not, he'll learn from his mistakes, and then he'll go down and then trend up. Certain guys, they allow to do that, and some guys are just like, oh, he struggled, he can't play at this level, and then they'll just write him off completely, which isn't always the case. Like it's just,
which is crazy about the major league level of like any sport too. I mean, especially baseball, but it's like, can you imagine going to like a job, like all of us got jobs, and you go in and like at my job, if they're introducing software like Microsoft Excel, some program we use, I'm not going to get it right away. I got to be taught it. I got to learn it. But after like a week, if they're like, hey, you don't have this, you're fired. We got another guy coming in. So what the fuck do you mean I'm fired? Like, I'm just learning it. You got to train me on it. And I know baseball is different. Most of those guys playing it their whole life. But at those different levels, like, hey, you're going to be introduced to a lot of higher level play. Yeah. And if you don't get it, that's what I don't like about those organizations that do that. Like, if you don't get it and you're not successful right away, we're going to replace you. It's like, how about you let me learn for a little bit, learn the ins and outs, raise my level of play to match this. I'll get it. You know, some guys don't, but like in the Dustin Pedroia, or like he was saying with Bryce Harper, it's like, I'll get it. Just give me some time, though. You know, but that results right away mentality is like fucking crazy.
You got to think that's case by case basis too, right? Depending on what organization you're part of, how the team is, if they're a playoff team, if they're rebuilding, all those kind of things. And, I mean, how many guys I can think of like, oh, this guy's going to be the next big Yankee and all this stuff that is common, and they struggle and all that, and it's a short leash with the Yankees. I think Pete can speak to that, where if the guys aren't producing right there, they're like, no, we're expected to go to the playoffs. We're supposed to win championships. We're doing this. If that guy starts struggling quickly, it's like, all right, we're going to find
that's why the Yankees organization is going downhill, because they need guys to have time. They're just not very good at, you know, their young players, and, you know, unless you're 6 foot 10.
You got a pretty good core right now.
Yeah, that's what you've been saying the last 15 years, pal. You know how to good core the Red Sox in 18. You know what I'm saying?
Well, the thing
that
too,
guy's going off right now, Santander.
Yeah. Oh yeah. The thing too is like, man, I mean, now since Pete, you said that, is at the high school level now, and you'll see it around here, especially in Oklahoma, is you have a bad year at football, coach, you're fired.
Yeah.
before it was like, hey, I mean, it's crazy but it's that mentality now with everything.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like Pete said, man, push them. Let's get them. Let's try to get them there as fast as we can. Doesn't matter if they're gonna learn anything. Yeah. But then let's just hope that one of them succeeds. You know what I mean? It's like.
So do you think the game's going to look really different the next 10, 15 years where, these veteran guys are getting, are gone and you got the new veterans that are learning this new baseball? Do you think that's going to really look different?
Is that what he went yapping on?
Yeah.
Good.
It's hard to say because I played professionally, affiliated ball for about 15 years, and it's just like the game changed 2 or 3 different times ever since I was in it. Like at one point when I first got to even AAA, I was just like, these guys, they were just filled with guys who have been in the big leagues. Yeah. There were very, very few prospects who were in that league, very, very few young guys. Like I was the youngest one on the AAA team, and I was 23 years old. 22, 23 years old. And now all these guys are in the big leagues. Like this kid warming up, Matzik for the Braves, like he got drafted after I did. Really? He's a first rounder. Parker said he played with him. And like he was like a first rounder stud, supposed to be like this huge arm, all this stuff. And he found himself out of baseball for 2 or 3 years, like playing independent ball. And now you look at him, and he was like a playoff hero. Yeah. And like he's got his own nickname, like his own deal. And now he's back, and he's not going anywhere unless something happens to him. Hopefully nothing does. Yeah. But
well, I was just saying, you were talking about nicknames. What's the best nickname you ever had?
Mine?
Petey Pablo. What was? I know you had some good ones.
I had a bunch of them.
I know Preston's. P. Gorilla, but we're not going to say the first.
This is what your mom
I know is that right?
There's a scuffle in the background. Well, I was in St. Louis. A bunch of guys called me the Wizard of Cos.
That's
pretty good.
The Wizard of Cos.
That's awesome.
Mo, do you have any?
About 2 BP.
No.
Good old Pete Loaf.
Well,
Pete Loaf. The old Pete Loaf.
Mine was my senior year. We was playing and there's Funky Cole Molina, but it was also Medina back then. Yeah. Instead of song, so that Funky Cole Molina is what they would call.
What'd you have, Zach?
I don't know if I really had a
Air Zach.
Yeah, probably.
E6 Zach.
No, I always. Probably one of my best college stories was we were playing Tonka Wall at Enid. I mean, packed crowd. Yeah. We got both of our dudes at one of them ended up going D1. Our pitcher ended up going to UCO. A really good dude. Well, they're going at it. We go 9 innings, and I ended up hitting a walk-off. Like, nice. Just as a freshman, that was kind of a big deal. Yeah. So everybody's like, your mentality never changed. I always stayed highs and lows. I just stayed the same. I think that kind of helped me get to where I did. But
they call you old Mellow Zach.
Mellow.
I remember a time I had a walk-off in high school, but it was like a run rule walk-off. Home run. It wasn't like a real walk-off home run.
That doesn't count.
And
run rule doesn't count.
That counts. The game was over. It ended the game. And after the game, I was all pumped and stuff. My coach was like, "You all act like you've been here before." And I was like, "I've never been here before."
This is my birthday.
That's my birthday out here.
What was cool too is that whenever Pete hit his first, I don't know if it's his first home run. What was the year that you hit a home run and they, you walked in the dugout?
They called it back because you missed first base.
No. The one that you walk in and they all act like they don't even acknowledge it. Yeah, they give you the silent treatment. What was that? I know it was that year. Was your first home run, right?
Yeah, that was my first one. I hit it at Wrigley.
Was that the one you hit?
Hit it at Wrigley on my dad's birthday.
Oh, shout out again, Bob.
Yeah.
Did you get the ball?
Got the ball.
Where's it at?
It's with my dad. I gave it to my dad.
Let's go.
Gave it to
let's
Bob.
go. He's gonna beat you up.
What was the one that you hit the lady in the face? that the dude got out of the way?
That was the next year.
Dude, hey, listen, I'm going to tell you a story. Where was that at?
Hit that in Arizona.
Oh,
Hit
dude.
it to dead center.
And the guy got out of the way from his girl.
Listen,
Hit it right in the face.
No.
Right in the
yeah.
face.
Hey, the guy and the girl standing right here next to each other. Ball comes, dude goes like this. Strokes.
You can look it up. And
Yeah,
it's
you
on
can
YouTube.
Peter the old wife beater.
I like that nickname
Yeah,
better.
the old wife beater. Man, I had a nickname in high school because my buddy, his dad, I don't know, his dad had him when his dad was pretty old. His dad at the high school game was like 70. And he was an old country boy farmer. And he was pretty old. And he fucked up my name every time. And that's just what he started calling me. I'd be batting. He'd be like, "Come on, Easton." I was like, "He's talking about my bat. I'm hitting at Easton. Come on, Easton, give her a ride." And I was like, "All right."
Beowulf.
Oh, Beowulf. Yeah, I like that one.
Beowulf.
Maybe he just didn't like you. That's sort of what it
That's
was.
probably for sure what it was.
But I was at a Cardinals game. Speaking of people getting hit, and I was like way up. My buddy got these like tickets last second that were behind home plate, like third deck, and he was like, "Let's go." And so I'm up there, and I had like coughing. I was coughing. I was like running in the cold or something. But I had like and this lady kept messing with her hair in front of me, and then I coughed again. I realized, like, even though I was covering my mouth, I was coughing in the back of her head. And so she's like, "Gosh." And they hit a foul ball straight back, and like the clouds parted, and like the sun, shone through. And I like go up to catch it, and her husband just grabs it, like spears it, and I was like, I hit him in the face. He dropped it, and I coughed on her again. I took off. He caught it, and I was like, "Man, that sucks." And they came over, and they're like, "Please fill this out. We'll give you a bunch of free stuff. We got free flip-flops and free everything." Like, so he wouldn't like sue him, I guess. So I can only imagine what that chick got for hitting her in the face.
Hey, listen, real quick, listen. So I was in St. Louis one time, sitting like, I don't know, 20 rows behind home plate.
Not the best stadium ever, but
Third inning. They're playing Arizona. Kind of a boring game at this point. Sitting there, and guy fouls one off. I'm like looking up at this. I'm like, oh wow, that's coming to me. Like this is right. It's kind of, holy crap, you know. And I start taking my hat off because I'm like, I'm gonna catch this in my hat. This is gonna be so cool. I'm gonna catch it in my hat. And all this stuff. I missed, and I don't know what happened. I don't. There's a guy next to me because I was in the aisle seat, and I think the guy reached over and might have blocked my vision. I don't know. Long story short, it hits me in the face, and it went 20 rows away from us.
That big ass forehead.
It hit my face.
That 4x4
And sit, right? And all of a sudden, everyone's like, "Oh shit, are you okay?" You know, and I'm like, "I think I'm okay."
Yeah, I was like, "Look at your eyes."
I was like 15 at this point. This is young, but anyway, they come to me and they're like, "Hey man, are you okay?" You know, they check me out, start giving me free stuff and all this. And they're like, "Hey, we want you to be the foul ball catcher of the game." And I'm like, I didn't even get the ball. It doesn't matter. So, hey, 7th inning, there I am on the jumbotron. I put my hat up like this. I'm holding this shirt. Huge ass knot. I'm like, yeah, this thing.
He's got one of these on the side of his
100%
head.
concussed. There's no way I wasn't. This thing, it was a big old knot. I'm just there, 7th inning, jumbotron, just holding this thing.
Was it the first one that we went to that you missed the ball on a foul ball? Was it the first game?
No, I never missed.
Or maybe. Oh no, it was Sean.
Yeah, I caught
No.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
one of the first games in Kansas City.
First game, can't see that.
There was like, how many people? I don't know how many.
yeah.
There was like 20-something people at that game or some shit.
So
Back to Sean.
Oh, dude, I love you, Sean. But anyways, they hit one foul ball right to him. I mean, and I'm like, all right, dude, it's coming right to you. Come right. Hey, it's right here, man. Catch it. Dude, he does like this. He I don't know if he's never played, but he's a plumber.
Shout out to that.
So he's a plumber, bro.
Shout out, he's the best plumber in the Tulsa.
Shout out Alpha Plumber. If you need plumbers. But anyways, he
Got
like crosses his hands. Fucking ball goes like through. Like, dude, nobody's ever caught a foul ball, dude.
Yeah. Catch that.
Yeah, it's
Man,
pretty
yeah,
crazy.
that's the ball I caught from Pete was the one he threw, and then he smoked that guy.
So Zach, you don't know. So every time we would go watch Pete, he would always be like, I mean, he wouldn't tell us, but I always knew it. And I told Ethan, I said, hey, wherever we go, because obviously he would put us know where we're at all the time. You know,
Yeah.
typically he'd give us tickets, especially in St. Louis. He knew what section we're in, whatever. So he'd always try to throw, like if it's the end of the inning, he'll throw the ball in the stands. And And I told Ethan, I said, hey, listen, I guarantee you he'll throw a ball up here. Be ready. First one, did you catch the first one?
Hell yeah, I
Oh, he caught the first one. Threw it up there. And then, I mean, we're in the second deck in Las Vegas. And on the, what stadium was that?
That was Las Vegas ballpark.
Yeah, Las Vegas. Have you ever seen it?
No.
Oh, dude, yeah, it's a dope stadium. Anyways, second level, Pete goes up and he fucking wings it. And then we knew it. Either caught the first one, next one comes, he throws a missile coming up. And then the guy was right here, the dude was right next to her, went like this or something, and hit the chick. It was a chick or guy that hit. Can't remember what it was.
Whoever it was hit him right in the fucking chest.
Right in the chest. And then, I mean,
She didn't squeeze.
food,
That
I think it was a chick. Food everywhere. I mean, shit went everywhere, right? The only thing is hurt, like air. Hey! And I look over Ethan and said, I taught my son well. Hit him in the chest, baby. Hit him in the chest. And then that guy comes turn around. We're laughing like a motherfucker. 'Cause all you can see is food come above their head. And then, because he's trying to make it up to us, dude, it was the funniest shit ever.
That's awesome.
Oh, dude, we were laughing so hard.
So, Pete, what was your favorite stadium to play in? Like, atmosphere-wise and...
I mean, it had to be in the playoffs, but just like the whole playoff experience, like there's a lot of really good stadiums. Like Philadelphia is a great stadium. Like I like Camden Yards. Camden Yards is great in Baltimore. Great ballpark. New Yankee Stadium is great. I didn't get to play in the old one. There's like so many good, like Denver's a great ballpark. San Diego's one of my favorites. San Francisco's phenomenal. St. Louis, can't say enough about that ballpark. It's just like there in Yankee Stadium, they're just like they're different and they're like unique in their own way.
Fenway Park.
It's really
Kelly-
old and it's
Kelly
probably the
sucks.
worst stadium I've played in. Like it stinks.
No, they only have a wall, bro. That's all it is.
Bro, every stadium's got walls.
I understand, but that's just it. There's nothing to it besides
That's the
a
only
green
stadium with a
monster.
giant green wall.
Also, this is what I want to know, and Preston and I talked about this before. So at Wrigley, is it truly like a fun, cool, like I played at Wrigley? You know what I mean? Like, or is it kind of like, I heard mixed reviews on it. You know what I'm saying? So is that, what is, everybody wants to play there, I guess. But
Like it's a great like ballpark, like history wise, same thing as Fenway. It's like the history is phenomenal, but as a player coming in there, it's very outdated. The clubhouse stinks. The cages,
Really?
bullpens, like the playing surfaces, like it's so bad.
Really?
Like they just need, I don't know what they need to do to resurface
While you're up,
it
you might as
or
well get some more
whatever they
twisted
need to do to them, like for the players.
yeah.
Like it's something needs to change, unless it has changed and I haven't seen it. But
Yeah.
unless it's just the visiting side and they just redo the home side and say screw to the visitors or whatever, but it's just like something needs to change with that, because there's so, like the technology that they have now is like it's so good that there's no reason why it shouldn't be good for everybody, not just the fans. Like I'm pretty sure for the fans it's going to be phenomenal, like Fenway and Wrigley, like it's very different.
You followed up
very
phenomenal.
cool.
You said Fenway.
For the fans, yeah.
Yeah.
That's
He said not
about
for
it.
the players.
Yeah.
He said that's it.
That's about it.
What's the one moment that you'll never forget as a player? Like, obviously when you hit that against Washington, that was obviously a huge
I mean,
deal.
there's a lot of
What's that? I know there's probably a lot, but what's the one like I just did that? Because I mean, I've seen a lot of crazy ass plays that you've made, stuff that you've done, and
You
I'm
wore
like,
those
holy
Lieutenant
shit.
Dangle shorts.
You know what I mean? Yeah, Lieutenant Dangle.
Won't forget that.
We had to find that.
Yeah, I'm finding it.
Won't forget that.
I'm
And it's
calling
out-
everybody.
It's
and I'm
out there
messaging
too.
them. So what is? I know you have a few, but so let's give me like some, not necessarily all of them, but just give me like a couple of that.
So I'll never forget the first playoff game that I played in. Was the one game playoff against the Braves, and like this was in 2012, the first year they had the one game playoff, and
That was the first year? I thought it was later than that.
No.
and so and like everyone like. The Braves had the second best record right behind the Nationals that year. The Nationals had the best record in the big leagues. And the Braves were just like, oh yeah, we're gonna just mow over these guys, or what? I don't know what. I mean, I don't know what they were said. Their clubhouse or whatever. But I mean, we were coming in. Our stud was going. Their stud, their young kid. I think he was a rookie that year, and he hasn't lost at home like that whole year. And I remember walking out of the dugout, and there's already 50,000 people there. It's old Turner Field.
Yeah.
No, they were doing the chop. They were doing the chop, and dude, every chance they got, they were doing the Braves chop. And
they do
that too.
Yeah, and so and every chance they got, they were playing that, and everybody's on their feet, and all you see is arms, or they have those foam tomahawks like going, and I was playing shortstop. And my buddy, he was playing second base, who we came up, Daniel Descalzo, we came up like kind of together.
Dude.
And that dude, he ended up playing 10 years in the big leagues. Yeah. And this was like, he was on the big league roster the year before, and they won the World Series, and he was a bench guy the whole year. Cool. I mean, I remember talking to him after that game, and we're on the plane, and we're celebrating, doing whatever, and we always stand up and like talk about the game or what happened and all that stuff. And I was like, I come up to him and I'm like, dude, like it was really hard to control like my anxiety, but like the nerves, like just like throughout the game, like these guys were so loud. The crowd was so loud. I'm trying to yell at Freeze at third base. I'm like trying to position him or let him know where I am. Yeah. And I can't even hear myself speak to him, or so I have to just be like visually like aware of where he is, and he has to be visually aware because I can't hear, or I have to find the time to be, hey, like I'm over here, or or Descalzo's over here. So I was talking to him, Descalzo, after the game, and he's just like, dude, I was the same way. As soon as I came out of that dugout, like you could just feel it's kind of like playing your first big league game. It's kind of playing like your first big league game all over again. And it's just like there's 50,000 people before the first pitch is even thrown.
Atmosphere too. Them being
this is my first playoff game. My very, very first playoff game. And Descalzo went through the NLDS, NLCS, and the World Series. Game 7 of the World Series. And he's just like, dude, I've never played in an atmosphere like that. I will never forget that whole game. Game.
That's crazy.
That's intense. I mean, just playing in that like a cathedral, you know, and like having all those fans, especially when it's an away game, just hating on you. Oh yeah. Because I know whenever I was, you know, watching any games I go to, I'm just talking shit, and I'm just letting them hear it from the third, you know,
and like, and they let us know it that they like the Braves.
They cussing at you and everything.
I mean, it's hard to hear because like there's 50,000 people screaming at that game. I can't even hear myself speak to somebody who's relatively close to me. Right. And so with that stadium, like it's a very big and tall stadium. So there's only like 2 levels to it. So the first level goes so far back and so far up, and then the second level overhangs the first level, and then that goes even higher up. It's insane. That's crazy. And like it was crazy how loud that place was. I'll never forget how loud it was. And like there was, you know, the infield fly rule, the delay, them throwing shit all over the field. It was like a 45 minute delay.
So on that, the infield fly, I know, I mean, because it's happened with us a lot, and even in high school, you're not having those caliber of calls and stuff. So
it's still out. Yeah.
So explain to the whole. So here's the deal. I mean, infield fly, right? The home plate calls them, right?
All right. There's 6 umpires.
There's got to be runners at first and second.
First and second, 1 out.
First and second, 1 out. There has to be.
And if there's a pop fly that's in the infield or close to the infield, it's an automatic
infielder.
Yeah. But the problem is people don't know where that line stops and starts, right? I mean, like, so on that one, because, I mean, that was a lot of things. You got a lot of hate from it. I mean, you could look up a bunch of stuff on there. People are still talking shit on
Come at us, dog. I'll give you
my address. And what's funny is, the first thing I'm thinking is, These motherfuckers don't know baseball then. You know what I mean? Because
Yeah.
you could tell.
all
It's
those
outside.
idiots on social media and all those dumbass
Keyboard
backyard,
warriors.
backyard fans.
Well, people don't understand. Even if you're in the grass, that's still part of the infield.
Yeah, part of the infield. If you get
it's
to
just
it,
part
yeah.
of it.
So their problem was
what I'm
they
coming
didn't
up
know
on.
where it ended as far as the infield, right?
So it was a big stink because it was technically not in the infield, and I had to go a long way to get it.
Right.
But I think the rule is if it's a routine play for an infielder as a pop fly, pretty much just to avoid a double play or a triple play.
Right.
That's why that rule was in place.
Yeah.
And like if you look at it, I wave my arms, I am going to catch this
you
ball.
are for sure.
And then I back off because I think I hear
The outfield
Holiday behind me screaming that he has it,
Right.
which he didn't.
Especially in that setting though, where there's so many people.
It's tough. I mean, I bet that umpire got a shit ton of hate for it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And
I mean,
we got a
all
lot of
kinds of
hate. We got a
emails
lot
and
of hate
everything
for it just
else.
because I'm on the other side of the ball.
Well, it's like that guy. What's the dude that freaking caught that foul ball?
Oh yeah,
on the
freaking
Cubs?
For the Cubs.
what's it? Yeah.
I mean, that dude like moved and like
Yeah.
He had to get out of there.
it's like
But it's not even his fault because the Cubs made like 3 errors that inning.
Yeah,
It's
it's not
just
all
easy
wrapped
to put
around
on
that.
that.
I mean,
No.
people
Very
put it
easy.
on that. Well, then you turn around and too, you get that walk off hit, and I was with you one time when some guy came up, and huge Cardinals fan, just some guy. I think we were at a bar, and he was like, "I just want to say hi. I'll never forget that hit, Diaz." And he he's still just oozing over it because his walk off. I mean, just like I remember David Ortiz's walk off hits. You have that huge hit, which is insane.
Playing for the best team,
like,
Cardinals.
Like 2 months ago, I saw that like a random clip of Pete doing that. And I'm just like, God damn it.
Yeah, I blocked all those posts. I don't want to see
That was so fun.
I see him
It was
enough.
randomly
I don't
popped
wanna
up on
see
YouTube,
those.
and I was like,
But that's just crazy. And then you turn it around. But that's the memories of the bigs, the bad and the good, and that's just freaking awesome that you got up there.
That's all
if I
I
didn't
really
tear
know.
out my knee, I'd have been up there.
That's what his dad taught him everything. What
That's
did he
right.
say?
So Pete, like you talk about nerves and like stadiums that are real loud about that. What helped you settle in, like in the box and playing the game?
Twisted Tea, brought to you by the Nerve Settlers.
Just like kind of being in tune with the game, trying to just like either getting into the at bat, trying not to let that outside noise or the moment be too big for you. Rather just get in the box and just compete, just like it's another game. Because the more you kind of recreate that in your mind throughout the season, the more you're going to be ready for it when it actually does happen. It's just like, all right, now you have a runner in scoring position. Now your nerves are a little bit pumped up a little bit. You can feel it a little bit more. I want to drive this run in. There's bases loaded, nobody out. It's like, I want to be that guy.
Yeah.
It's like stuff like that you can recreate throughout the season to kind of like prepare you for it and stuff like that. So it's just kind of being in tune with the game. It's just like knowing how many outs there are, knowing where my third base, where my second baseman is, know where my outfielders are, know where my center fielder, where my outfielder, my left fielder is behind me. Like being in tune with these things, like being visually, just like, all right, this guy's here, that guy's there. How many outs there are? If the ball cuts me, like just there's a lot of things. There's always something to think about with like that going on, and it's just the more you do that, the more it becomes like a routine. It's just
Like
like
a
all
second
right,
nature
like you
type
don't have to
stuff.
worry about the noise, the playoff atmosphere, or like letting that stuff get to you. It's just like, all right, this is cool. Like we're playing in the playoffs. Like we're playing for like this is what everybody wants to do.
That feeling when you got that like little adrenaline or whatever feeling you got, adrenaline or nerves or anything at that point where you like just settle in like, God, I love this shit. Like I love this feeling. Like
Oh,
this
I
is what-
do.
It's like when
I
you
do,
get that
man.
and you're like, fuck, I love
No,
this.
man, I do. I absolutely love that feeling. It's just like, all right, like it lets you know that you're alive.
Yeah.
Like you are alive, and it's an awesome feeling. And some people don't like it.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say some people. I say a lot of people don't like it.
Yeah.
Well, it's such a big stage. you know what I mean? It's like
It's like, man, the opportunity of failure
Yeah.
in baseball in general, but especially that is very high.
Yeah.
But like you saying, like if you embrace that embrace the suck, some people say, but if you embrace that, like, this is a big moment, like, this is a lot, but God, I love this shit.
That's what
Like,
it makes a
I love
difference.
this.
Like Parker said, there's 6% that get to go to college ball, and there's 1% that gets to go on to the next level, and that separates.
Yeah, that
1%
that
of being able to handle the moment.
Yeah.
Really.
Yeah. Well, and what's even cool, you know, like seeing these guys and the people that went out with us after, you know, some of his games and stuff we went to is man, they're people, right? Yeah. I mean, it's these guys have to go out and experience. This is their city, especially at home. Typically, would go to is everybody watches it. Like he said, the city closed down in St. Louis.
Yeah.
It's like everywhere we went.
Decent baseball town.
Everybody.
That's the best.
A little bit better.
Oh, it's kind of like
Boston.
We golfed at Ryan Franklin, and he said the same thing. He goes, "It's one of those you have to experience."
Oh, dude, it is. I mean, and that's where we went. You know, we'd go to these places, and I mean, they're like double D's? Shout out Double D's. That place still popping?
Yeah.
Double D.
Dude,
Let's go check it out.
I mean, listen, it is the coolest bar ever.
I couldn't go to any of those bars after that World Series game I went to.
Yeah.
I went to some
You
shit
go to the
bar.
wrong ones, brother.
No, this was an awesome bar. Anyways, we went there, but a lot of times they're like, hey, let's you need to go in the back. Like you need to go, and Pete's just not that guy. You know what I mean? He's like, no, I'm gonna go in the front. These guys, you know what I mean? But this is what they do, you know, and it's. I can only imagine living that life and also having to turn it on in the baseball aspect of it. You know, I mean, you know, are you thinking last out World Series, don't hit it to me or hit it to me? You know what I'm saying? I mean, that's the thing with me. I mean, if it was me, I'd probably like, shit, don't hit it to me.
Come on.
You know what I mean? Like maybe a fly ball with a catcher. You know what I mean? So it's like,
and I get where Pete's come from a little bit. You know, after a big softball win, you want to go down to Buffalo Wild Wings. You got to go in the back.
And you can't go.
I can't even get in the front.
You can't even
without
go.
signing some
Kenny
autographs.
Powers over here.
I'm like, man, come on.
You gotta sign this girl's chicken wing.
Yeah, come on. Give me that Sharpie. I'll sign it. You know, it's tough.
Pulls all Happy Gilmore, signs the
dude.
tips.
I know it.
boy, then you know,
That's awesome. I mean,
it'd be funny too. This is a funny story. We're at Hooters after one a game, and it's a big game. The whole family's there. Like we literally reserved this. I mean, a long ass table, and I'm sitting by him, and of course he like calls me dad, you know. And so this girl over here, the waitress, is like saying stuff, and obviously, you know, she's trying to. A lot of people are trying to talk to him, get his autograph, and he's, you know, that's the thing with Pete. He'll sign forever. You know what I mean? And
never signed nothing for me.
finally, he was like, "All right, I literally have to eat. Like I got to hang out with my family."
Like, I'm hungry.
That's what's on this top after.
So then he's like, Dad, can you kind of be a little roadblock? And then he came over there and was like, hey.
Hey.
He was like, hey, this is it.
Third. Whoop his
Yeah,
ass.
kick his ass.
Y'all ain't doing shit.
Oh, what was that last game? That
That's
McNeil
another
got
thing.
slid into.
slid
Pete,
into. That's what it was.
If you didn't get off the bench when the bench is cleared, you get fined.
Actually, you get,
I've heard that. Like,
you get fined if you like go onto the field. Actually, like you get funny thing, like whenever you get fined, like when you get ejected, like when you actually get ejected from a game, you get a fine sent to you in the mail. Like it shows up in your locker, it shows up on your chair. So whenever I did get ejected, like I didn't get a fine for it, which tells me I didn't do anything wrong and the umpire fucked up. So whatever. But like whenever you do get ejected from a game or something like that happens,
hilarious.
like you get fined. You legitimately get fined by the league.
You see more fights now, and I think the initiation was what's his name? Otto, the freaking stroke though. What's his the second baseman for the Rangers?
Batista.
got Batista.
Yeah, busted his ass.
Batista wanted none of him.
No,
He thought he did.
Odor.
Adora, yeah.
That's it.
What was he complaining about?
Watch this. I don't know. The pitcher is saying something.
Oh, dang.
But y'all were at Hooters. You had a big section.
Oh yeah, dude. So
Back,
back to that.
Ethan's
So anyways,
like,
it comes back, and obviously there's a lot of awesome people trying to get over there. And so finally he's like, all right, dude, I gotta sit down and eat. My family's waiting on, and then they just kept coming. So finally I stood up and I'm like, hey, listen, I'm his dad, And we're trying to have family dinner here.
Yeah, at Hooters.
At Hooters. I said, can you please give us a break? I look over, Pete is cracking up because I'm like having serious conversations with these people. I'm like, listen, I'm his dad. We're trying to have family night. Can you please give us some room? After he signed like thousands of autographs, But it's cool seeing it, when you get to, there's, like you said, there's a line, like, especially when he was with the Monarchs. They had that long ass walk up to their freaking locker room.
Yeah, that's a cool walk.
And man, it's, there's kids, man, he always just stopped and saw stuff. And then coming back in town, everybody, it's pretty humbling.
It's pretty awesome, too. I mean, I saw Matt Adams down there at the Monarchs and everything.
Shout out Big City.
Shout out Big. That's my boy, dude. We partied a lot together.
Yeah.
His old lady there.
In St. Louis.
What do you think about the new? Well, I'll let y'all finish, but I just saw these jerseys. What do you think about the new jerseys? I hate them. I think they're garbage, and I think
Which one
the Fanatics needs to change everything. The new Major League jerseys.
Yeah, they're trying to go to
the
like a
pants are all
cartoon.
see-through. You can see the guys' boxers. The letters are all small and not centered on the names on the back during spring training. The arc they put on the letters, that they had it going all the way down the fucking jersey, like Saltalamacchia. And they changed some stuff before the season, but now the Yankees last night there was a couple guys just sweating, and you can see the sweat. It looked like a gym T-shirt. And they're like, I don't think these new jerseys are sweat-proof.
Maybe Nike.
They're not doing
rethink
Majestic.
what they're doing.
Yeah, they're doing Fanatics and Nike, and I'm like,
Majestic hasn't been with them. Whenever they switched to Nike.
Yeah, I
think
don't know
it was.
why.
Is Majestic still around? They still doing?
I think
downtown.
I think it was in. I think it
Preston's
was.
favorite spot, Yankee Watch Club.
I think it was right before COVID they switched, or right after COVID
really?
they switched to Nike.
I don't like it, and I also think that they should let the guys fight more on. Do you have any? So there's a story I heard from I think Kruk, who used to do like Monday Night Baseball and all that. He was telling a story
Kruk.
when he was like a rookie or something. He was in the clubhouse, and there was some guy for the Phillies. It was a veteran, and like every week or something like that, maybe once a month, I can't remember. But he would have like 20 bats delivered to his dugout or to his locker, and he would pick up a bat and put it to one side, pick up a bat, put it to one side, pick up a bat, put it to that side, and a pile of bats, and then he'd get one, he'd put it to his right, and then out of the 20 he'd get like 3, and he'd have 3 on his right and like the other 17 on his left, and he was like, "What are you doing?" He goes, "Those I gotta send back. They're not proper weight. They're not." He goes, "You didn't even weigh them or anything." He goes, "I can tell by picking them up," which is crazy. I believe it, because there's a lot of shit like that in pro sports where you just have something, you feel it, and you're like, "This is it." And only like 3 out of the 20 would be his perfect bat that he knew was his weight and his length, and the other ones were half an ounce off or a quarter of an ounce off, and he wouldn't swing them, and he'd send them back, and that's why they sent 20. Is there any stories like that where you see guys like, I mean, obviously you probably had like 3 or 4 gloves in the majors, and guys have different things. Did you ever run into guys like that, like where Yachty would be like, "Yeah, I can't use this glove. It's not to my liking," or somebody would have a bat and they'd be like, "I don't like this." Pujols would be like, "Yeah, I can't." Or batting gloves or just weird shit.
Not too many guys were like that. I mean, I think nowadays it's a little different because Kruk played in the 80s and the 90s.
Played way back.
So it was a little different back then.
Yeah, now they got technology
So I know, like Parker said, he was with Marucci for a while, but I know for a fact Marucci is very specific on like how they make their wood, and it's very, very consistent. And there's not many bat companies out there that are very, very consistent.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's one of the reasons why I like Sandbat so much, because they were very consistent with what they sent.
Where are they out of?
They're out of Canada.
Canada.
Yeah, I think it's on.
I didn't know. I've never heard of them until I seen one of your bats. I mean, it was.
Yeah, so Barry Bonds.
Yeah,
shout out JJ.
Shout out JJ Barry Bonds. Oh, Tony!
I've seen a lot of major league players have that little bat symbol in their bats.
Yeah.
There's a few of them. It's not as many as it probably should be, but in my opinion, it's up there with one of the better bats.
So you have like, I remember you were telling me, so there's people that, let's say have a Rawlings contract, right? I mean, do they have or sponsorship or does that happen a lot? Does you come in an organization that's like, all right, you start dealing, you start doing good, and then you start having like a Rawlings, or you have, like that bag company come in. Is that something that where you were sponsored by, or how does that work?
So I think more times than not, they either approach me or my agent, and they're just like, "Hey, we want to do something with you. We want you to promote our brand, and here's like Rawlings." Like I was always with Rawlings, and they always send me, 2 or 3 gloves.
Yeah, I remember you always had 2 or 3. Then you had
Gold Glove, Heart of the Hide.
One of them was.
Then you had New Balance, right?
New Balance.
Dude,
Always,
we go to his place.
I still got some.
His freaking closet, and they go to games, and I guess their agent or rep would come in and they'd bring them like, hey, this is our new shirts, try them out.
Yeah.
And he'd have like thousands of New Balance shoes. But you weren't there, you weren't even around.
No,
but we got some cool ass shoes
Because he's a Boston fan.
we had
that's
some
all.
New Balance shoes, and he got all of his friends. You weren't even a friend.
Still waiting
I don't
on the
think.
New Balance shoes.
And then shout out me, Kyle, Matt. Who else got it? Ben?
Yeah.
It's fun, but and then so New Balance, Rawlings. What else did you have? The Bat Company. Anything else?
I think that was pretty much it. I didn't really need anything else.
Rolex gloves.
Well, one thing I'm seeing now
Tell the
is,
time, the inning.
isn't it funny you see these guys?
Oh, we got a beep.
GoPro.
As I say, it's 2 hours in.
That's good. But no, we'll finish with this too. Is the Evo Shield? Isn't it funny how everybody's wearing like 9,000s of pads and
the elbow pads. They got
Which
ankle
I get,
pads.
but-
They got neck pads. They got
They got
index
your
finger
hands,
pads.
I think
Man,
David Freese got smoked in the hand. He kind of brought the Evo Shield.
What's up with Big City? Is he playing?
He's still playing. I think he's playing ball in Mexico.
Really?
He's still
avocados from Mexico.
keeping the dream alive. I think he might be in Tijuana.
Really? Yeah. Shout out, Big dude. He was fun to party
Sounds
with.
safe. Yeah.
His old lady was like, he came to his old lady goes, he's not going out with y'all tonight. He's not going out with y'all tonight. Nope. I was like, come on, man, please.
Yeah, come on now.
Come on, man. I promise you we're just going to eat.
Right? Yeah, we got some good games coming up too. Baseball today. I know the Red Sox game of the day is coming up.
No, that's not good.
Yankees play the Astros, don't they?
Try and go,
3-0.
3 up, yeah.
Sweep him.
The old Schwipps.
Well, Preston, thanks for coming, bro.
Absolutely.
Yeah, thanks
man.
for coming
Appreciate
on.
you guys having me.
Zachy.
Watch some more baseball. Watch the Elite 8 tonight. Pete, I wish I could
Pete,
say it was a
as
pleasure.
always.
Elite
but-
8?
Do what? No,
I thought we were talking about baseball.
we are talking about baseball. The Elite 8 of baseball,
Is
the
that
Elite game
8 of
coming on
us?
later.
Yeah, we got some good games going on.
Ethan's kind of confused sometimes, so
So, anyways, thanks for coming,
Yeah,
boys.
confused real
thanks
competitors.
for having
with-
us.
And,
Yeah.
as I say, on to the next one, old son.
On to the next one, baby. Thanks
Go
for coming on,
Cardinals.
boys.